Good day, everyone. My name is Jayo Olusegun, your anchor man on today's tutorial. Today, we are learning HTML. The tutorial is basically about a web design, but we are starting from HTML. Later, we'll be learning CSS, that's the cascading style sheets, and all other ones later. But for this tutorial, we are focusing on HTML. By God's grace, I've been taking HTML for since 2010. I've been training people on HTML and I've been using it for myself since 2010. So this is 2006, so that's like around 5-6 years. So I teach my students these days without carrying books. So I go to class, teach them that HTML and all other things I'll be teaching you, they are already part and parcel of me. One thing I don't like doing is I don't like teaching people what I've not experienced. So what I'm teaching you is something that I know. I've experienced it, I've used it, and I've taught people several times. So and I bet you enjoyed the tutorial very well. You will surely enjoy the tutorial. So it will be self-explanatory. It can teach you even without anybody being with you, and I bet you get the best out of the tutorial. Okay, I used to tell my students that HTML, you can liken a web design generally to a building. I believe you've all seen a building and where they are constructing a building before. When they are constructing a building, the first thing they start with is to purchase the land where the building will be built. So that's why if you want to have a website on the internet, you have your buy the hosting package, you have your domain name, the URL. So that's just like the land where you want to put your structure, you want to put your building. So after that has been done, what you do next is you start constructing your building. So to start constructing a building in this our own part of the country here in Nigeria here, mostly they use blocks to build a building. So when you want to construct a building, you start with the blocks. You get your blocks ready, then you put them one on top of each other, and before you know it, the structure is already there. But I used to tell my students that when the structure is there, will they be able to sleep in that particular house? And the chorus answer is always no, because number one is the house has not been plastered, it has not been painted, the floor is not there, no ceiling, no AC, no fan, nothing. So it's not yet habitable, but the structure, if it is a duplex, it's already there. If it is a bungalow, it's already there. You can see it very well, but you can't sleep inside. Okay, so I used to liken the structure, what we used to make the structure as the blocks to be HTML. So we use HTML to build the structure of a website. Okay, so once you use your HTML, the structure is already there, you can see it, but I want to bet it with you, you can't like it, because it's what is not attractive. It's not the layout may not be eye catching. So you wow, who has done this mess, this rubbish, and so on. So now after you've constructed your building, the structure is there, you proceed to plastering. You plaster your building, then after that you can paint and do other things you want to do. Before you see that, wow, this is a beautiful building, oh, this is wonderful, wow, you feel like this should be my house. So after you've done your HTML, you've done the structure, now you now need to start applying CSS, cascading style sheets, to make the design and to make the layout. The layout is good, it's nice, the design is beautiful, the color combinations are okay. That's the CSS. So now what we want to learn first, because now, and the funnest part of it is now, you can't be plastering without having your structure. I believe you know that's not possible. You can't say, okay, this is my land, let me start plastering the land. It's not possible. So the structure is as important as the other beautification that you had to it. So the structure must be there first. So HTML must be there first. You can't say you want to start design when there is no structure of your of your web page on ground. So and that's why we need to start from HTML. So we are starting from HTML today. So okay, HTML means hypertext, H hypertext, M markup, L language, HTML hypertext markup language, HTML hypertext markup language, hypertext, that's hypertext, M markup, and the L is language. So there's a school of thoughts that tells us that HTML is not a programming language, and actually it's not a programming language, it's a markup language. But language, markup language, programming language. Language is what is language. Okay, so to start with, for this tutorial we need majorly two things for now. We need the notepad, that's where you'll be typing our HTML, and we need what we need to preview what we've typed. That is, after we've typed the HTML, we need to check the output. So we'll be using the browser to check our output. Two things: notepad, a browser, and they're already on your system. They've been installed. Once you have your OS, they're already there. They are installed alongside your OS. So don't let anybody cheat you that they want to install notepad for you. So don't allow them. Notepad is already part of your system. Okay, so like I said, we'll be using notepad because notepad is a plain text editor. It's plain. If you don't know what you are writing, you don't know. Not like the professional ones that we're using later, that even when you've forgotten some things, it can remind you of what you've forgotten by the intelligence. But notepad, if you don't know, you don't know. Nothing. Okay, so let's open our notepad. Let me open my own notepad. Okay, you can just go to your, I don't know the operating system you are using. I'm using Windows 8. Just go to the start menu, then you can just search for notepad. Just type notepad. So you see the notepad, just click OK, then the notepad is there. Okay, so this is the notepad we'll be using, and you see the notepad now is so plain. Nothing is there. So this is good. So it can enable us to learn the rudiment of the tag very well, and that's a good way to start with. Are you getting me? So that's a good way to start with. So now, to use a notepad to create a web page, we need to tell the system, we need to let the system know that, okay, this notepad is not just typing any text, it's for what? It's for a web page. Else our output will not be showing as web page. Are you getting it? Our output will not be showing as a web page. Okay, let me just show you the wrong way so that you understand what I'm saying. The wrong way to do it. Okay, first and foremost, let's create a folder on our system. Let's create a folder on our system. I want to create a folder now. So the folder is where we'll be storing all the work we'll be doing. Because anytime you want to create any web project, the best is to create a folder, then you store all the work inside the folder so that your work will be organized. So let me save the folder as hello. So the folder is there. So now all my work will be saved inside this folder henceforth. So now let me just save. This is the wrong way. I hope you are taking notes. This is the wrong way. This is the wrong way. So that I just want to show you what I mean. This is the wrong way. Save as. Okay. So let's navigate to our page, to the folder we just created. This is hello. Okay, so let me save this page as let me save it as PL, and let me just save. So we are assuming we are creating a web page. But like I said, this is the wrong way. This is the wrong way. So now let's preview what we've done. Let's preview what we've done. Let's see whether what we've done is is what we want. So now let me open it in a browser. Open with, can you even see it's not even showing me a browser because it's not even seeing it as web page. Can you see? It's coming up. It's not even seeing it. Okay. So if you, let's not waste our time. If you look at the file type here, you see what is a what text document. So that means it's not even a web document. So now let's now do the right one now. Let's save it in the right way. Let's save it in the right way. So let's close this one so that we create a fresh document. So I only want to show you so that you know that you why you need to save your work very well. Why you need to save your work very well. So let me save this one again now. File. So this is how to now save a web page. So this is how to save your notepad as what as a web page so that the system will understand it as a web page and will be previewing it as a web page. So you go to save as, then make sure you navigate to the folder we just created. This hello. Okay, now let's create what should be the name. You can call it example. Okay, so that's the name of our web page. Now you know every document has a document type. For HTML is type what? Document type is HTML. Now the file extension for HTML documents, we have many of them, but the major ones that is HTML and HCM. That is, after creating your web HTML page, you save it as .html or .htm. Are you getting it? .html or .htm. So we will be focusing on using .html. So that's what we'll be using in our tutorial. So this file extension is .html. So okay, so we've given it a web page. Sorry, we've given it a name, and the name is already there, and the name is already working. So the next thing we need to do now is to work on the file type. So we need to really work on the file type because the file type must be what? The file type must be correct. Our file type must be what? Must be correct. If it is not correct, it will not work fine. If the file type is not correct, it's not work fine. So save as type. We click all files, then we save. So when we save, we can preview. So let's go back now and check what our file is. So you now see the difference between the previous one and this new one we just did. Okay, let's open our folder. What do you see? Example.html. What do you see? HTML what? HTML file. This one is what? Text documents. So now let's open with. Do you see now? The other time you could not even see what? Any browser coming up, but this time around we can see what? The two browsers on this system. So let's click on Google Chrome. So this is our file just opened in the browser as a web page. This is wonderful, isn't it? This is great. So that's how to set up a web page. So if you don't set it up very well, no matter the code you are writing on it, it will just be coming out as just normal text on your browser. So but now we've set up the web page very well. So the next thing is to start coding. So we continue the coding in our next tutorial. Like I told you, my name is Jayoburu Shegun, and I'll be the one that will be anchoring this tutorial by God's grace. So get yourself ready, get prepared, Anything you want to do, quickly do it before we start the next one. And I trust you enjoy it. Okay, see you at the next tutorial. Bye bye.